I want to take you to the case of Irlene Mokaraka, which is a shocking case of big boy Foodstuffs taking her out as an employee today. She's gone. She's a manager. She's reasonably high up. She runs a team herself, and she has effectively today lost her job because of misuse of the petrol card in the company car, which I think is appalling. $200 and a valued employee with no record of any problem or any concern or any complaints has lost her gig. Mother of 6, owns her own home, South Auckland, and she's lost her job because she put in $200 of petrol on annual leave when she had the company car, which was hers anyway, late last year during Christmas. Can you believe it? So we'll get a legal take on this as well. We'll get a workplace specialist in as well to tell us what he thinks. But, boy, it's a real concern. It is the David and Goliath battle as one of the giant grocery businesses in New Zealand sacks one of their managers, Irlene Mokaraka. Mother of 6, hardworking, highly skilled, in charge of 8 people. From all accounts, I can't find any dirt on her. She's been an exemplary employee, but today she was fired. An instant dismissal. What for? Well, they're clinging to the fact that she has a company car, and last Christmas she put a couple $100 into the company car on a company credit card as she started her Christmas holidays on the petrol card. You know how it is. Until now, it's been no issue, but they dug it up, and you've got to ask yourself why. Here's why. And I've seen the emails, and she's nothing but polite and honest and upfront in all her correspondence with management. She tells her new boss that she feels bullied by her. And that's when it turned sour. And clearly the company went back and started digging for something so they could dismiss her. And as often the case, they went for the company car and to see if there was any breach of the rules. And the mother of 6, the main income earner into her house, who's used to swiping the petrol card because she drives the company car, did so as she went on annual leave. Many managers I've spoken to in the last 24 hours say most companies either ask for reimbursement or look the other way. But not Foodstuffs. They dug it out. Until now, no issue. They dug it out. And she got the letter, "You're fired" today. I've seen it, just seen it. No warnings, no discussions, nothing. 3 years of hard work implementing systems and processes through COVID, and she's tonight out on her ear. The David and Goliath battle going on at Foodstuffs. The letter says, "We believe your behaviour has amounted to serious misconduct and we're proposing the outcome of termination of your employment instantly and immediately." Not in 3 years has she had so much as a warning. She manages a team of 8 and something feels rotten about this, doesn't it? She'll join us shortly. I've also received another email today. Kia ora, Duncan. I just wanted to email you about the situation with Irlene. Please don't name me as I'm starting a new job and want to put this trauma behind me, but I also don't want Irlene to be on her own. She's a mighty wahine and has not done anything wrong. One of my Pākehā team told me yesterday, this is in Foodstuff, that she accidentally used a Foodstuffs corporate card for herself for a personal expense, and she just notified someone and filled in a form and it got fixed. This is someone else in the company. It got fixed. She couldn't understand how the situation with Irlene has escalated as far as it has. I too, Duncan, was an employee at Foodstuffs North Island until recently. I worked in the same wider team as she. There are 170 in the team. I'm a woman of colour. I experienced toxic leadership and bullying from my leader, and I resigned in early August. My leader accused me of endangering the psychological safety of my team. My team continued to speak with me today, 5 weeks after I left the business. My leader does not know this. I completed an exit interview on 22nd of August and gave them this information, telling them how offensive the behaviour was. And I gave them a number of incidents where the leader asked me to break protocol so we could be one team at Foodstuffs. There is no cultural competence at Foodstuffs. They have one diversity and inclusion manager for a workforce of 34,000. It's a literal joke. HR told me and my sister, who was my support person, and a lawyer, that they would come back to me with a response in 2 weeks. So far, I've heard nothing. Foodstuffs do not care about their employees. They allow a culture of bullying. HR has been notified a number of times by a variety of people that have done nothing. They think the merger will fix their toxic problem and therefore fail to take any direct action. I posted her video to Facebook page, and 2 other female employees contacted me, telling me about their experiences. One's left and told HR about her toxic leader. They did nothing. One is mixed race and trying to get out because she's onto her second toxic leader at Foodstuffs. Ironically, she joined our team because Irlene and I were in it, and she thought that meant it would be less racist than her previous team. Anyway, I just want to give some context and credence to Irlene's kōrero. She's not alone. This is a huge problem in Foodstuffs. Wow. It is a bit of a killer of an email, isn't it? Maybe they've got some real problems there that go deep into the company. Irlene Mokaraka is with us now. Irlene, g'day. Nice to have you on the program. How's things?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit drained this afternoon.
I bet you are. I saw the letter.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw the letter.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry you've lost your job. I saw the letter this morning that came. But they used a lot of words to get rid of you, didn't they?
Yeah. A lot of words for me. I feel like it's a distraction to what the actual problem is.
Take us back a bit. So this is the David and Goliath battle. You think you've been unfairly dismissed?
Yeah, 100%. I've just gone onto the employment tribunal website just to have a look, because I'm all about facts. I'm not about hearsay, and I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing and I'm not, just talking shit, right? And for me, one thing that I've gotten out of what I've seen on website is dismissal. If an employer wants to dismiss an employee, they must act in good faith and have a good reason. To me, they haven't done that. They haven't acted in good faith, and they haven't had a good enough reason to do this.
So you told your boss that you felt bullied, and she came back to you and said, okay, we can work through this. The next minute, you're in an employment dispute and you lose your job. It's as simple as that. And they go and digging up the car record stuff, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you feel let down by that? I mean, did you think that's a bit sneaky?
Yeah, and I think the real disappointing thing for me is that I just always had, hope that they would go, actually, no, this is not the right thing, and just stop and take the opportunity to be courageous leaders and go, actually, we're not doing the right thing, and then just stop. Especially because I kept going back to them and kept expressing how it was affecting me, that I was a good employee, that I didn't deserve it, but they just didn't care. And no matter, that's all the fluffy stuff, but besides that, all the hardcore evidence that I provided, it was like that. It didn't matter. They didn't even care to look at it. Like, even my witnesses that I provided to them to contact, which one of them is my old boss, I don't believe that they've actually contacted anyone.
Yeah, well, they may well have breached process there, but it just seems to be such a radical and harsh decision for someone who's been trusted in the company for the last 3 years, who's been working hard to implement systems during COVID and so forth, and you've had no complaints and there's been no issues with your performance at all. You've worked above and beyond from what I can see. You've been polite, you've been really competent, and there's no warning system, there's no nothing, there's no, hey, can just pay that back and we'll sort it out. That's, to me, what a normal employee would do is, hey, you're 260 over there. Look, it's a bit flaky, these rules, but you can't do that. So, just pay it back and we'll move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I just think the more I keep talking about it, the more ridiculous it sounds.
Well, it is, though.
Like,
I find...
What does other people...
Yeah, I mean, I find that we're talking about... Well, it's a really serious issue because you've lost your job. And you're the main income earner, aren't you?
Yeah, no, 100%.
What's your family... What's everyone saying to you? What's people from work saying to you? What's your family say to you?
They all know. They all stand by me. They all know that when I feel passionately and strongly about something, especially when it's not justified, they know that I'm a fighter. So they support me, and they just say, look, cuz, auntie, mum, honey, the truth will come out, and you'll have to go through a really tough, challenging time, but you've come this far. Don't give up.
I've received an email from someone who's asked not to be named, who used to work within the company, and they've sort of written to me backing you and supporting you and saying that you've been a fantastic employee and a great leader. And they've also said that they lost their jobs. She's also a woman of colour, and there are other people of colour who are having issues with Foodstuff, and they believe that the system's racist within Foodstuffs. Are you claiming that, or do you think you've been? Do you claim that this is an issue of colour or not?
Look, I think I'm not confident enough to talk on racism, but I do feel like there is some sort of pattern.
Yeah, because it's really alarming email that I've received, suggesting that it's systemic, perhaps, in the workplace there, and a culture of bullying. Certainly, the bullying is something you identified, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, the bullying definitely, yeah.
So you've got no other complaints against you. There's nothing there that you can. All they've done is they've pointed to the use of the petrol card.
I am absolutely squeaky clean. I even some work peers have reached out over the weekend and today just to say how shocked they are. One of them said, "Hey," and they're part of a bigger group of a team, and they've said our chat group is going off. Everybody is just so shocked and so surprised. This person also said, we respect you so much, and we're just really sad for you, and we wish you weren't going through this. And it's the same sentiments being shared by other work peers in the organisation. And I feel like it hasn't even sort of gotten out there because I've worked with so many teams across the organisation. The ones that are reaching out to me are the ones within my sort of immediate sort of team, but there's probably about 6 cross-functional teams that I work within across the organisation, and I feel like once it really gets out, so many people are going to be so shocked and so disappointed and upset about it.
Yeah, it's hard to justify. It's hard to justify, isn't it? And we'll get some legal advice and some workplace advice on this shortly. I've got Max Whitehead coming on, who's an employment specialist, coming on shortly. So he will give us his view, because there's always it's wrapped up in HR speak, isn't it? That letter you received today is brutally cold.
Oh yeah.
Basically, you have breached,
yeah.
and this is serious misconduct. Is that serious misconduct?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's been since day one. So it's every single email I get back from them, it's always cold like that. There's no compassion, there's no humanity, there's no moral compass, there's no ethic, and every time I go back to them, I go, this is not right, and I plead my case, and I just get the same HR speak emails come back, and I just think, how can you sit in those roles and be okay with yourself? How can you be okay?